Hello, this is RICKY, the Android Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Android Weekly / Android Q&A. We go over all the latest news that happened during the week and answer your questions live. If you want your question answered live, just ask it in the comment section down below and we will answer it before the end of the show. Now, I do want to remind everyone that our Patreon giveaway is ending in about 10 days. And we will be giving away this Amazon Echo Dot. So we have been using it for the review currently right now. We're going to finish that up and then send it in about 11 days. We'll do the giveaway on Patreon. Last month we gave away headphones, and we have a few giveaways coming up in December. But the only way to qualify is to sign up for Patreon, so make sure you sign up so you are set for that. All right, now let's get to the news that happened this week. And in the first bit of news, Samsung has bought Harman Kardon, or Harmon. Means they are Harman Kardon, Harmon in the auto industry, JBL in a part of their audio industry. So Samsung has bought all of this, everything that has encompassing with this. This is a huge sale because this is, I believe, double what Beats sold for. Now, why is Harmon so much more valuable than Beats? Well, Beats is, really big in certain parts of the world. It's also not as big everywhere, and say in Europe and other parts of the world. It's just not as big in Asia as well. But Harmon not only is big pretty much around the world, but they also have a lot more in, say, home theater as well, besides just small portable speakers and headphones. You also have, of course, the Harmon section of the auto industry, which actually, for those of you who don't know, Samsung makes cars. Yes, you are all probably going to Google this afterward, but in Korea, Samsung actually does make cars, and this will help them with the smart interface in those cars. And who knows, we might actually see some Samsung smart cars eventually come to the US and other countries. As of right now, they're only in Korea and have no plans to expand, but it is definitely a possibility. So that being said, Samsung has made the bid. It is the biggest acquisition by far that Samsung has ever had. But again, this will put Samsung in a huge leaps and bounds of companies like even Google and Apple when it comes to driving and driving systems. It's a really, really big purchase. So let me know what you guys think about this purchase. What do you guys think it will mean for the future of Samsung? Quite frankly, I just hope that means we get some front-firing Harman Kardon speakers in the S8. To be fair, though, this acquisition won't go through before then. But if both companies already know, then they can work with each other ahead of time in giving us a better experience for that. All right. In the next news topic, Samsung has actually come out and straight up said something that I have been telling people for a couple weeks now when they ask me, oh, what about the S7s? Have they exploded? And I hear this one's exploding, this one's exploding. And they have flat out said, look, there's over 10 million S7s being used in the US alone. Keep that in mind, because a lot of people always think like, oh man, no one sells as much as Apple. In S7s alone, there are over 10 million in the US, meaning there's probably at least 15 to 20 million across the world. That's impressive. Now, that being said, with all of those, not one has had a battery failure issue like the Note 7 had. No, any of these that have occurred have been from severe external damage that had then caused the incident to catch fire. So they have flat out said this. So, and I believe it's true, just because the ones they have seen and the ones they've determined, it hasn't caused that issue. And again, I think it's a snowball effect of the media, quite frankly, doing a poor job of reporting news and more so just doing fear tactics. And it really is just a horrible practice, but it still happens. Again, we talked about last week how the 10th iPhone has exploded since their iPhone 7 launch, but there's a lot of a different shift in tone when you're talking about a Samsung exploding and an iPhone catching fire. It's just it's a different set of words that are used, and it's just not downplayed as much. I cannot tell you how many people still think, the washing machines are exploding and not just breaking and damaging things. And it's just a whole bunch of, quite frankly, nonsense about how the media is spinning all of this stuff. So I am glad that Samsung did come out and make an official statement like, hey, look, none of these batteries are having issues on the S7. There's over 10 million. Not one has had an issue with the battery itself or any issues with it. However, there have been cases where it's been damaged externally and it punctured the battery and caused issues. Now, in the next bit of news, Samsung is once again trying to come out with an iMessage-like chat app that will support rich chat services. Now, this is really big because of the fact that Samsung once had something like this called Chat On that never caught on, and it was just horribly put on there. And hopefully, though, rich communication services, not chat services. The biggest thing that I feel that has to be done with this is Samsung, if you're going to do this, make it your default text message app. This is why Google has done a horrible job on Android, and Google could have already single-handedly dethroned iMessage. Easily. Google could easily have dethroned iMessage a long time ago, but what has happened is that Google never made Hangouts their main text message app across all Androids. That's what it should have been. Every Android phone should have came with Hangouts. It should have been the default text messaging app. There would be no competition. iMessage would not be a competition if Hangouts had done that. But what did Google do? They never made it the standard. Then they released Messenger, which is garbage and horrible. I used it on the Pixel. It could not get MMS to save its life. And Hangouts has been having issues with MMS again, actually. So I've actually had to revert all the way back to Samsung's Messenger app, which I don't like. I liked having Hangouts for everything, but Google is trying to back now not Messenger. Now they don't care about Messenger. Now they're trying to back Allo. And it's just confusing as hell. Google, you have 3 messengers and have not supported one of them. Hangouts is your best one. It integrates everything. Just add a phone number to it and you're good. That's it. That's all you needed to do. Do what you did on Allo, do that to Hangouts, and it will be perfect. Make it the default text messaging app across all Androids, and you would be superior to iMessage in every single way. But you haven't done that, so hopefully Samsung will do this, make this built-in iMessage chat competitor across all of their devices, and if they do that, they will finally rival Apple. Now that being said, one important thing about this that I hope Samsung gets right, make it a good name, Samsung. Chat On, Milk Music. You've had some horrible names in the past, just some really bad names in the past, so hopefully you have a better name this time for whatever you come out with to compete with iMessage. And if it has the possibilities of having instant messaging along with a phone number attached, and even an email attachment, then you'll be good. But if not, it's gonna hurt, and it won't be successful. That being said, we also have some S8 news, and that is that we know that on Android 7.0, or rather 7.1, you have the hold down feature that's very identical to Force Touch on iOS. Now, for those of you, I'm going to do a video on this, but I actually could get this I've actually had this for a while now on my phone, and that is because on my phone for a while now, I've had what I always put on my phone, which is Nova. Nova Launcher is the best launcher, and it's what I always have on my main daily driver. Now, with this though, I can actually do this right now, where I can hold down the camera app, and I can immediately take a selfie or do that. I can also do this with other third-party apps as well, and I can have a new note on my Google Keep. I can make a new list, take a photo note, or take an audio note. I can do all this already built in. I don't have to do anything extra. So I've had this on Nova for about 6 months now, and really I like the idea in a sense, but I never use it. It's like I forget about it, and that's what most people tell me that on iOS, they forget about it. Force Touch apparently will actually come built into the screen on the S8, but again, I don't think it's that important. I think it'll be better if we get Force Touch with the home button removed, and then they have a fingerprint scanner on the screen. I think that would be a better idea for a Force Touch type of feeling. All right, in other news, we might finally have what I've told. If you look, 2 years ago, I did a video telling what should Sony do. And I said Sony should get out of the mobile business, and all they need to do is create PlayStation games. Create Sony PlayStation Mobile, and they will turn a profit loss into a huge profit gain. They might finally be doing it. According to Forward Work Studio, that there might be something right now. According to the Wall Street Journal, they have heard from the studio saying that, look, we have been tasked and we might be beginning serious about in 2017 bringing PlayStation games to Android and iOS by March 2018. So again, this won't be till 2018, but this is really important. I think to bring PlayStation games, bring PlayStation games that you have that aren't available, that you can only do through emulators. Bring those to Android and iOS, and man, can you just have some fun. Bring PSP games, bring PlayStation games. Look, if I can play, like, the Uncharted 1, 2, and maybe even 3 on there, I don't know how far the graphics can go, but if you can get like the Metal Gear Solid, the original one, things like that, if I can play those on Android and iOS, you're going to get a lot more money, Sony, and you'll be very profitable. Look at Super Mario Run. That's what they're saying is an example of this. It's a, I believe, $15 game on iOS that's coming out in a couple weeks, and this is going to be profitable for Nintendo. Sony, you could have done this a long time ago, and hopefully you do this. Make your PS4 controller compatible with this too, and you'll see your sales on your PS4 controller skyrocket. Just make your PS4 compatible natively. Bluetooth? Natively, by the way, if you don't know, I can plug a PS4 controller into my Galaxy, into my Pixel, into any Android phone, and it works natively. I don't need to do anything. It just works. But it doesn't work natively Bluetooth. You have to do a little tinkering. If Sony does that natively and puts their games, their highlight games on there, Shadow of the Colossus, all these big games on there, man, you are going to have a hell of a time, Sony, and you'll see a huge profit in mobile. Instead of, let's be realistic, you've only had loss in mobile for what, 3 years now? In other news, we are getting a Qualcomm's Quick Charge 4.0 coming out next year, along with Qualcomm's 835 chipset. Now, the 835 chipset will be on most flagships coming out next year. So most flagships coming out next year, the S8, the G6, the HTC 11, all of those will have the Qualcomm 4.0 chipset along with Snapdragon 835. Now, what does this mean? Well, what it means is a couple of things. One, you can charge faster with the Quick Charge 4.0, so it's a quicker charge in terms of how quickly you can charge it, but it's also going to give a better level of decrease in terms of cooling. So it is actually charging the device cooler compared to before. So you charge 5 degrees cooler, which is really important because of all these battery heating issues we've seen. This is really important. It's 20% faster, and you can do up to 30% more efficiency. Basically, it's just going to be a lot better, especially in that starting. But basically what we're hearing is that, where was it? 5 minutes of charging gives you up to 5 hours. So that's really big if you think about it. 5 minutes of charging gives you up to 5 hours. It's really going to be insane how quick this charging is, and it's going to be a welcome addition, to say the least. And finally, the last bit of news, Apple might not be getting their OLED displays after all. Yes, and the iPhone X is supposed to be the first iPhone ever with the OLED display technology. However, as of right now, it does not look like Samsung and everyone else. Again, Samsung makes over 50% of the screens for Apple, but also LG, Sharp, and Japan Display are trying to make as many as they can. And honestly, it's looking like it might not be till 2018, not 2017, which would be a big dent in Apple's iPhone X plans. I'm really curious about this because will they push it back then? Like, what's going to happen if Apple can't put an OLED display on their phone? Will they still have an iPhone X, or are they going to change their mind and not have an iPhone X? This is a really big hit. If Apple cannot put the OLED display on their phones, I think you're going to see a serious hit compared to this year. All right. Now, guys, we're going to answer all of the questions in the email section. So if you emailed me any questions, always email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com and make sure the subject is question, and I will always try to answer it the following week. Let's get to the first bit of questions right here. And the first one is from Mark. Mark asks, hey, I have a Samsung and cannot receive pictures or text messages. Can you please help? Now, I'm really curious if you cannot accept any text messages or just MMS, meaning bigger text messages or messages that have some sort of animation or some sort of bigger file than a normal text message. MMS, you have to make sure everything's in order, but more so you're looking for the APN. So whatever carrier you have, whether it be Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, you need to just Google search APN for Verizon and just follow that and make sure in your settings under mobile networks, go under your APNs and check it out and set it to the proper APNs, and that generally fixes anything what to do with unable to get text messages or photo messages. Now, I will say this, that if that's not working, then try a different text messaging app. As I said earlier on, Hangouts and Messenger from Google were having issues with MMS for me. So I had to switch back to Samsung's text messaging app, and it worked fine. But for instance, an MMS can be something even from like that has a website link. So when I buy tickets at AMC, I have it send me the link, just the link. It's a link, not a picture, but a link to get the ticket's image. Now, my Messenger on the Pixel was unable to get it, and it was really annoying the hell out of me. So hopefully you're not having that same issue, but it's definitely one that is a big issue if you have that. So make sure to check out a third-party messenger app and make sure to check out your APN settings. Okay, love to draw ask, hey, I had over 6,000, 7,000 pictures and they accidentally deleted this album. It was from Pinterest and Instagram and they deleted by mistake. Is there any way they could get them back? Well, we did have a app that we reviewed that did this exactly. Make sure you check out our Dr. Phone app, Dr. Phone program for PC or Mac, and this will allow you to recover deleted data. So if you have deleted the data by accident, this will help you to recover most deleted data. So it's not 100% guarantee, but I believe it was about $40 or $50. And you get to use it, I believe, more than once. I'm not positive on that. It was been a little while since we reviewed it, but just check out Dr. Phone, spelled Phone, for the phone part, and check that out on our channel. And I did walk you through step-by-step and pricing for that program for PC or Mac. All right, and in the next bit of the next question is from Mohammed. Hey Ricky, can't wait for the tips and tricks on the Gear S3 that is coming. What is the difference between the Frontier LTE and the regular? So first of all, what's the difference between the LTE version and the regular one? Well, the LTE one, you can do call forwarding and forward all your messages, notifications, and phone calls to your phone. So you can forward all of that. Doesn't matter which carrier you're on, you can forward all of it You just have to link it the right way. Make sure your phone number forwards everything, and you enter the correct gear number on the gear manager on your phone. So I do have a video on the Gear S2, but I haven't made one for the Gear S3 yet, but it's the same exact steps. So follow that one and you should be fine. But that's the main difference. My question is, I have the Frontier non-LT. I charge it twice a day on heavy use or barely, or I'm guessing and barely make it on one charge for very light use. Is it defective, right? It sounds like it probably could be defective. I mean, what do you consider heavy use and what do you consider light use? I've still been getting about, again, I can get about 2 days off of this, no problem. Especially when I don't have the always display on, which I'm thinking about turning that on because I like having my watch always on, but it looks like it'll more cut to about a day and a half if I do that. I've actually been sleeping with it though now. So I've actually been sleeping with it. And then I'm very cautious. So I like to charge it a little bit before I go out the door in the morning, after sleeping with it and having it on for the full day. So that's me. I charge it for about like 20 minutes. It's usually almost to 80% or 90% by then, and then go throughout the day. And it never dies on me throughout the day. So considering I have the LTE model and you don't, and I still get more battery life than you, yeah, it sounds like something's wrong with yours. All right, guys, let's get to the questions that were asked during the week. Let's get to the questions that were asked in the comment section. Again, if you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below right now, and I will answer before the end of the show. Let's get a quick Starbucks. What the hell is wrong with Verizon and the Gear S3 nothing happening? Verizon has chosen to hold out to get the Gear S3 in Q1. Yes, they didn't want to get the Gear S3 right now. They had poor sales on the Gear S2. Other companies had better experience with it, but Verizon, they just didn't sell the Gear S2 that well, so they wanted to hold off on the Gear S3 till Q1. So Verizon will be getting the Gear S3, but they're not getting it till Q1 of next year. Whether it be January, February, or March, we'll have to wait and see. Should buy the iPhone 7s or whatever Samsung is going to release next year. Well, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 7. The iPhone 7, I really feel is not worth it. The iPhone 7 Plus, I feel is worth it. It depends on what you currently have too right now. If you have an iPhone 6s, honestly, there's no reason to upgrade to the 7. The 7 does not really have a better camera. You can see side-by-side comparisons. In a lot of instances, the 6S beats it. 6S has a headphone jack, which no matter what is still better audio, as we've seen comparisons. Check out Pocket now. They have a great audio comparison between the iPhone 6S and the 7. 6S beats it. Not only that, but it really is just, I feel, just more versatile, and you don't really get much more. You get even the space gray, which, you know, you lost on the 7. And quite frankly, I think the glossy back is one of the hideous colors ever imaginable, because you can't keep it clean for more than a day. So, it really is the biggest pain, in my opinion, in terms of everything there with that. So I really feel that the 7 is not worth it. Definitely next year, if Apple doesn't release, I believe Apple still is going to release the iPhone X next year, which if they do that, that is going to be worth the price difference. But it looks like, again, just to let you know, the Plus is going to get a huge leaps and bounds more upgrades than the regular. That OLED display might only come to the Plus. Tell us about your opinion on the Google Pixel battery life. The Google Pixel battery life, I really feel is really interesting, to be honest. I feel that it's okay. It's not the best. In our S7 Edge comparison, the Edge won. That comparison should be coming out this upcoming week. The full comparison, we have the camera comparison up right now. Full comparison should probably come up by Wednesday, hopefully. depending on how our editor does for the week. But basically, hopefully when we get the full comparison, you get to see just the difference. But overall, the battery life is better on the S7 Edge. I would say the Pixel falls in between the V20 and the iPhone 7 Plus actually has a better battery than it too. So yeah, it's a good battery, but not a great battery in my opinion. It does what Apple does in terms of the standby time is excellent, but when you're actually using it and you're a heavy user, it drains like no other, especially when it comes to split screen. Split screen drains that phone very strongly. And I hate the split screen on it, but that's a whole nother topic. A topic we have a video coming up on. Did you hear that they are going to start selling refurbished Note 7s in China and Vietnam, I think for 2017? I have heard that in even the US, some people have said that is, quite frankly, a rumor at this point. Samsung has not said anything about it. I have heard it from a few other people telling me that, but no legitimate news site has ran with it as far as I can tell, other than the fact that it's a rumor. So as far as I'm concerned right now, it is a rumor, nothing to believe fully in that aspect. I want to give my dad some kind of affordable smart home kit, like smart switch or smart bulb. What do you recommend? I prefer something that is compatible with Apple's Home app. Well, a lot of things are compatible with Apple's Home app, to be honest. Samsung SmartThings is probably the most compatible smart home hub, because that's what you need to get. And this was on the Black Friday specials. So right now you can get the Samsung Smart Hub for $49. And this is a hub that will work with all of your other things, whether it be Philips, whether it be Lumix, or any kind of light bulbs or switches you get. They all centralize with a hub. And Samsung SmartThings is probably the most well connected in the hub industry right now. And it does work with Apple perfectly. And yeah, so the main thing is the hub. The hub is what makes all those things talk to each other. So yeah, so that's the main thing you want to get is a hub first. And once you have a hub, then you're good. Then you can get whatever you need to connect to them. Philips is probably the most reputable brand in terms of like not versatility in terms of working with everything, because they're very proprietary actually, but they do have the most like colors and shades and all that kind of stuff. That's why I chose to go with Philips. Well, that, and they're the only things that work with Google Home, so that's one of the main things I chose to go with. Are there other ones out there? Yes, but I would say for reliability, I like Philips the most. It works very well. I have the switches from them, the light bulbs from them, and they start off for a switch and a white light bulb for about $50. So for one switch and one light bulb, that's only white, not the multicolor one, but you can get those for about $50. And you can even get like a two bulbs and a switch for under 100, I believe. So yeah. Is there news on when will the Note 7 S Pen specs come to the Note 5? No, there's been no news on it. In fact, Samsung is really kind of underplaying what they're doing with the Note 5 right now. The Note 5 is actually going away in a lot of carriers, and it's interesting to see if the Note series is kind of going away in a lot of carriers right now in general. Any fine tip stylus that is compatible with most smartphones? Not something too bulky, please. I have one. Hold on one second. Damn it. Unfortunately, it's not near me. I think it's in the other room. Thought it was near me, but basically you're looking at something like the Surface one. But there are ones that have this kind of tip. Did I not do a review on it? I thought I did a review on it, but I might not have actually. I might have bought it and never did a review on it. I will coming up, but there is one called like a I think it's it might be confusing with the LG phone name, but Stylo. I feel like it's called Stylo as well. But there are some good ones out there. I just would have to look it up. I do have one myself, and it's about the same size as the Surface Pen, but kind of like you pull it out and open it up and then just write. And it works with my Tab S2, the Pixel, an iPhone Plus. So it works with a lot of them out there just fine. Actually, no, it doesn't work with the iPhone if I'm not mistaken. I would have to check on that. I don't believe Apple can do something that fine of a tip. Samsung and other brands can, but not iPhone. iPhone 7 Plus versus LG V20. Quite frankly, I don't have the LG V20, but the iPhone 7 Plus would beat it in battery life and camera quality. So I would have to give the iPhone 7 Plus in the advantage without having the LG V20 to test. But yeah, that's again, I don't have it to test, but the iPhone 7 Plus would win in those two categories. Are you going to switch to the Pixel XL as your daily driver anytime soon? I actually did last week. I had a full week with the Pixel XL, and you can check out Twitter because I could not take more than a week. I really did not like the Pixel XL. It is not for me. The review is coming, and really, it is not for a heavy user in my opinion. The Pixel XL is really Google's phone for the average consumer, but I did not like it for me at all. I had three really big issues with it, and that was the Messenger that I had brought up earlier that had a lot of issues with it. Split screen is garbage. Split screen is just garbage on that. I do have a comparison coming up against Samsung split screen versus Google split screen, and Samsung is way better. Split screen on the Pixel is garbage, is horrible. It is the worst kind of split screen I've seen since Windows RT. What was the third thing? There was a third thing. Let me check out my tweet. I did this tweet last week, and I was just like, after a week with it, I couldn't take it anymore. And the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth had issues with my car. My car has never had issues with any phone that I've used as my daily driver, but the Pixel XL would just not sync up to it automatically. Like, it would be paired, and anytime my car is paired with a Bluetooth, when I get back in the car, it resyncs them. So, you know, it's just like, oh, this phone that I've already paired with before, it's on and it's near the car. Let's pair together. That's what it does. But it wouldn't ever with the Pixel XL. I had to do it manually each time, and it's just not convenient for my day-to-day stuff. So yes, I did try out the Pixel XL for a week, and unfortunately it was not a great experience for me. I hate that the Samsung S2 password for Samsung Pay is just like you do on the Gear S3. So I do have to do a correction on that video. So a couple of people had pointed this out. It was because I had the watch off. So if your watch is off the wrist and your heart rate monitor isn't detecting that you have a basically skin, so it's detecting like, oh, there's no arm here. It's not on an arm. We need to keep asking for the password, which is how I did it in the video. In the video, I did not realize that, yes, you actually could not have it ask you every time. So like right now, I have Samsung Pay on my phone. I can light it up and then I can hold this down and it'll launch Samsung Pay. So I have that ability and I don't need to enter in my password or anything like that at all throughout that entire process. So I do have to do a correction on that. Samsung Pay is actually a lot better on the Gear S3. That was a big gripe that I had with it. Here's the thing. I had 24 hours to work with the Gear S3 before I had to give it to a celebrity personality that I work with. So when I had to do that, I had 24 hours of the watch. Had to really kind of work it out and test it. And I wanted to put a review up for you guys. The problem was, though, I did not get as in-depth as I normally do. I now have my own Gear S3 that I got on Friday, and having experienced more features on it, I will give you guys a 10 hidden features video, as well as a 5 best apps to have for the Gear S3. and a Samsung Pay walkthrough as well, I believe. So yeah, all that's coming up in the upcoming week or so. So make sure to stay tuned for all of that. Best Bluetooth earphones under $50. Those ones I reviewed, the D500 minis, the review just came out. They're on sale for $50. They are really good for $50. Although my default ones would probably be for under $50. I would probably say the Level U Actives if you can get them on sale, or the LG Tones if you can get them on sale. Ricky, please report the Apple explosions. I talked about the Apple explosions last week, but there have been over 10 iPhone explosions total since the iPhone 7 launch. Now, I did clarify this is not all iPhone 7s. Over 5 of them were iPhone 7s or 7 Pluses, but there were also iPhone 6s that blew up, so you have to keep that in mind. It wasn't all 7s, but there have been 10 since their launch. I'm just saying in the time frame, there's been over 10 as of last week. There's been several the last couple weeks. Can you please report on them, Ricky? It's Tim. They should get exposed. Yeah, no, I mean, again, we talked about it last week. Look, they're out there. They have exploded or caught fire. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just not that big of a hyped up as much. So Apple's kind of getting away with it. What are some of the upgrades from the Gear S2 to the Gear S3? The main upgrade from the Gear S2 to the Gear S3 is Samsung Pay with MST. So you can use this anywhere you can pay with a credit card, you can pay with the watch. Because it has MST, meaning when you swipe your credit card, you can tap it and it'll work. I've used it to pay for parking already. It's really great, really fun. Now, here's the thing. The biggest thing that I would say about the Gear S3 from the Gear S2 is that there's not too much of a difference, honestly. The LTE offers a great idea of how much it'll be different in terms of what apps can do with it, but they haven't done it yet. It's a great platform. It's a better platform because it has LTE that you can build upon it, but it's not right now. In terms of the watch itself, I do like the bigger screen. That's honestly why I bought it, because I wanted a bigger screen the Gear S2 had to offer, and I'm happy with it. That's the real reason. I wanted a bigger screen than the Gear S2 had to offer, and that's what I got. Now, one of the biggest selling points, Spotify isn't available yet. I don't know why. I just tweeted Samsung about this actually before the show. Like, hey, Samsung, what the hell? Spotify isn't available on the Gear S3 yet. Why not? It's on your website. It was at your announcement. And you don't have the Spotify app yet? That's one of the biggest selling points. And it's not available yet. And that's a huge hit on Samsung. And honestly, they need to get it together when it comes to that. iPhone X official name. iPhone X is the name that I have said since February of last year. I'm the first reviewer on YouTube that said, or in the tech universe, that said it would be the iPhone X. Other reviewers now have been also calling it the iPhone X as well now. From CNET to other different ones, they are calling it the iPhone X. I've said it would be the iPhone X from the beginning. It's the 10th anniversary iPhone. And knowing Apple and knowing how they like their Roman numerals, it will be called the iPhone X. That's what I believe it'll be called, and we'll have to wait and see next year. It is not the official name. It is the name I said it will be. And if it is the official name, then Apple, you owe me money. Apple can still put a rock display and all the iSheep will buy them. Yes, that's true. Verizon, no Gear S3. Thoughts? Again, the Gear S3 will be coming to Verizon in Q1. So January, February, or March, they'll get the Gear S3. Hey, Rick, what are the updates coming to the S7 from the Note 7? So I have that, and I'm going to be doing a video on it because I have Nougat on here. So I have Nougat, the beta of Nougat, on my phone. So I do have that. And it does look very different in terms of how everything operates, in terms of the entire interface. it looks very much like the Note. The settings are actually identical to the Note. So in terms of all of this, yeah, it looks a lot like the Note right now. So that's what we're getting. It's really, really nice. I love the camera UI. Having this beautiful camera UI on there again, I really do love that. So very happy about that, that I can just flip it and you can see exactly just how it operates, just like the Note. So I really like the UI, except for the split screen, which again, I'll have a video on that's coming soon. By the way, so just to fully answer your question, this beta for Nougat ends mid-December, so around December 15th. So at that point, you're going to get a new version of, you're going to get probably the official release come out either at the end of December or beginning of January. So the rumors are that there's going to be 3 iPhones, and one of them will have AMOLED. There's actually clarification on that. There will be 2 iPhones, and one of them will have the OLED, and that will be the Plus variant. So that's the clarification when it comes to that. Nougat, but you're missing that much, Rich. Do you... Oh, I didn't realize that was Rich. Hey, Rich, I can actually put Nougat on your phone. Will I? Probably not. Do you like the Gear S3 better than the Gear S2? Yes, I really do like the Gear S3 better than the Gear S2. Again, I like the bigger display. And I do like how the apps just work, I feel, a bit better. And the clicking has even gotten a nice bit of smoother in comparison too. So I really love the Gear S3 so far. Oh, disregard the Mohammed. You got on. So disregard my email about the Gear S3 battery back to normal on day 3. Awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Best third party. Oh, sorry, just loaded a bunch more questions. Wow, a lot of questions. Best third party messenger app. There's a lot of them out there. Textra is probably one of the better ones that I've used in the past. Go SMS was an old school one that I used. I like Go SMS still for one reason. I personally wouldn't use it because I don't like the look of it. But the reason I recommend it to other people is because it backs up your text messages through a cloud service. And I think it backs up about, I want to say 500 messages or something like that. So a good way to back up text messages if you have no other way. Did Samsung really stop the Note 10 line? If so, why? I feel like now is the time to bring it back with the iPad Pro on the market. They've actually, well, we don't know actually, because see, they made a Galaxy Tab A with S Pen, which we will be reviewing that one in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, they haven't made it. But you know, we'll probably get a new Samsung tablet either in January at CES or MWC in February. But yeah, I would want a new Note tablet, a new high-end tablet from Samsung, because my Tab S2 is getting really old and the battery life isn't what it used to be. You know why? Because I want wireless charging on a tablet. Damn you, Samsung. Did you hear that you can trade in a Note 4 with T-Mobile Plus $100 and get an S7? I didn't hear about this one feature, but yeah, I mean that's great. Trade in a Note 4 plus $100 and you get an S7. Is that complete? Like they don't charge you anything else? That's kind of interesting if that's true. How are you? Note 5 in 2016. What do you think? I think Note 5 is a little bit dated in 2016. I would get a new phone as soon as you can in 2017. But honestly, obviously, it's understandable because of everything that happened with like the Note 7 was better in every way than the Note 5 in every way. It was hot, all right. But yeah, so I would say that the Note 5 is getting dated, but it's still a great phone for what it is. What kind of phone is good for $300? The see, a lot of them are at the $400 price point. The Honor 8, the Axon 7, Moto G Play edition. A lot of these phones, the OnePlus 3, a lot of these phones are great at the $400 price range. At the $300 though, I can't think of any off the top of my head. There was one that came out from Huawei that was the $300 price range. It was lower than the Honor 8. Can't think of the name of it right now, but it was in the $300 price range that would be good for 300. Echo, their new Echo Pro, I believe is around the $300 price range, and it's really good for the price of 300. Is Google Home for $100 or the Echo Dot for $40 worth it? First of all, where can you find Google Home for $100? Because I haven't seen it for $100. It's $130 normal price. So I'd be really interested to see where you can get it for $100. Let me know that, Lex, in the comment section, because I want to get another Google Home. Is the Echo Dot for $40 worth it? Absolutely. It actually made our top 10 list for Black Friday deals. I think the Amazon Echo Dot is really worth it. However, I do prefer Google because of the fact that it's a more natural speaking. However, is it $60 more worth it? No, it's not $60 more worth it for most people. I do like it, so I would probably get it because I'm in the Google ecosystem. I'm the Android guy. But in terms of for most people, like I would get my mom an Echo Dot just because I think she would get a kick out of it and she would like it for what it is. I have been seeing the Gear S2 on sale lately. I would love to see if the watch finally has Samsung Pay. Olsen is a 3A big enough upgrade to justify the cost? Oh, is a 3S, I'm guessing you mean. Also, is the S3 a big enough upgrade to justify the cost? Again, the Gear S3 is not too big of an upgrade, but the biggest thing is the display, the full Samsung Pay, so you can pay anywhere. I don't think NFC is that great. I really don't. And that's what you can get on the Gear S2. You can only get NFC with Samsung Pay. I don't think that's that worth it. It does have Samsung Pay. You can get full Samsung Pay on the Gear S2 with NFC, but you can't get it with MST. That's only on the Gear S3. Perhaps we have a misunderstanding is so far as whether you can forward messages or notifications, all else on non-LTE watch. No, so on a non-LTE watch, you can get notifications via Wi-Fi. So that's the thing. So say if my phone is somewhere else and my watch is at home, my watch will still get all notifications because it has Wi-Fi. So it will get forwarded all notifications. It will not get forwarded phone calls though, because that is a calling feature and that needs its own number. So it will not get forwarded that. It will get forwarded all notifications though via Wi-Fi. So that's the clarification for a non-LTE variant. Hello, Ricky. You posted on Twitter that you were using the Pixel, but you went back to the S7 Edge. Please tell us the reasons and why. So I kind of alluded to this earlier, but again, the Pixel had three main issues that I just could not deal with as my daily driver. For it having the Bluetooth issues for my car, that's a big issue. For it having the issue of split screen, it's a garbage split screen and I hate it. Unfortunately, my S7 Edge with Nougat has the same issue now, so I'm not happy about that. But I'm testing it out for Nougat's sake, so we'll see how it goes. But the third issue of for me, not having wireless charging is a big issue for me. I did give it wireless charging. There's a video on that. I don't know if it's out yet. I think it's going to be out tomorrow. How to get the Pixel XL with wireless charging. But that's a big deal for me, not having wireless charging. It's one that it's a thing I use all the time. I'm using it right now. I always use wireless charging. So there is a couple of issues with the Pixel for me, and it's just not for me. Unfortunately, tried it, just not for me. The camera is really the best I've ever seen at selfies. I will say that there are. I mean, the speed of it moves well, but overall, it's just not enough to make me want the phone. There is better phones out there with better UI, and I've never been a purist. I've never been a stock Android user, and the Pixel XL just reminded me why I'm not. Should I buy the iPad Pro 12.9 or wait for see the release the model next year? Quite frankly, the iPad Pro 12.9 is garbage. To be honest, Apple is not selling almost any of them. They're really a poor seller because the 10-inch is worth it for having less of the price. And you'll probably get the 12.9 for a lot of discounts this holiday season, so look out for that if you really want one. But yeah, if their new model can offer next year some better features, it would definitely be great to see. But as of right now, I wouldn't get that. I would rather get a MacBook, the 12-inch MacBook, for about the same price, and it's a hell of a lot more worth it, and you can do a hell of a lot more. So yeah, I personally would never invest in the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. It's the worst investment I would say that most people can make, especially for that price. S6 cracked. What places do you recommend to get the screen fixed? Thanks. Well, there is a Samsung service center in Koreatown, in Los Angeles, that you can take it to. I've heard of screens being fixed for $70, and I've heard of screens being fixed for $150. So my guess is it depends on which phone. So I'm not sure about the pricing, but that is the place you can get it fixed. One important thing to note with the S6s isn't an issue. But for those of you who don't know, for the waterproofing on the S7 and other phones that have waterproofing, you always want to go to a phone that has waterproofing. You want to go to the manufacturer. So for instance, if you take an iPhone 7 or a Galaxy S7 to mom and pop shop in the mall, and they fix your screen, guess what? It's no longer waterproof. They do not guarantee waterproofing at all. They will not do it. They will not take reliability for it, nothing. So please note that if you ever want to keep your waterproofing, you need to take it to a Samsung service center, send it to Apple or Samsung or anything along those lines. So make sure you know that you never want to take it to a mom and pop shop if you want to keep your waterproofing. Whenever I change the ringtone in the Twitter app, it always goes back to the default sound. Help. Make sure it's not. I'm not sure why is that. Why is it doing that? Why would it be changing to the default app? Try changing your default app ringtone and see if it changes to that, or if it changes to like a Twitter default ringtone. Another thing I could just recommend is uninstall the app and reinstall it. That would be just one thing to see if that's an issue. Hey, Ricky, watching while on PTO in Maui. Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that, man. Please recommend... not sure what you mean by Gal 7e cleaner malware app. Yeah, not sure what you mean by that. Do you find it a bit odd not a single Note 7 melted after the second recall was announced? Actually, we brought that up on last week's show. That yeah, it's funny how now there was 150,000 Note 7 still out in the U.S. and not one of them caught fire. Now, why is that? Well, it's because it was almost non-existent. Look, Samsung, I don't know as of 2 weeks ago, but before 2 weeks ago, Samsung had been trying to make them catch on fire. Make them catch on fire with thousands of Note 7s. They were trying to charge it full time. They were trying to put it in hot areas, put it in cold areas, put pressure on them, everything. Not one Note 7 could catch on fire. So what happened? Well, the media blew it out of control. That's what happened, to be honest. The reason we don't have Note 7s out is because of the media. That's why we have this issue. Was it an issue? Yes. How big of an issue? 0.0007 or 4%. So 0.0004% chance that you would have had a Note 7 go bad. It's the media. That's it. Galaxy S7 Edge should not get mals if you don't download shady files or cleaner built into the phone battery tab. Oh, Smart Manager. Yeah, no, you don't need any third-party virus scanners almost ever. I don't recommend them. The Smart Manager built into the S7, you can get McAfee built into it if you want. So yeah, you have that as well for Samsung. Regarding SIMs on the S3 watch, the LTE version, SAMs, as I understand, the SIMs are same as all carriers in the US, and the carrier do not have different SIMs. No, yeah, you can take any SIM card. So I could take this T-Mobile variant, and I could take it over to Verizon or AT&T. It's the same eSIM. It's an eSIM. That's what it's called. And basically, I just have to cancel the service with T-Mobile first, and then turn it on after 24 hours on another carrier, and then they can reactivate it. Hey Ricky, is an i7 in your pocket, or you just happen to? I do not have an i7 in my pocket, although an Axon. No, I'm just playing. I have a Zen Watch 2 and a Zen Watch 3. When using S Voice, the watch can reply with your voice like the phone does. On your okay. Not sure if that was a question or what you're really talking about there, but yeah. I noticed that you are not a pure vanilla stock Android guys. You like features? Yeah, see, here's the thing. You actually get a lot more features if you don't have stock Android. Samsung and LG and HTC, they've been doing a lot of things that Google is barely catching up on now. Again, like I said, split screen has been around since the S4, I want to say, or S3. It was around since the S3. So since the S3, we've had split screen, right? Or S4, maybe it was the S4. We've had split screen for that long. And Samsung did a better job then than Google is doing on Android Nougat. So you are talking about 4 years Google had to improve the split screen, and their split screen is garbage compared to Samsung. And that's what I mean by, like, I don't care about stock Android. Why? Because I already have better features than stock Android, and I've had them for a while. This is LG, Samsung, they both have had split screen for a long time, and they do it better than Google. So I don't care about stock Android. I care about the features that a company is offering me. And right now, Google isn't offering me what I need. But that's the beauty of Android. You have so many manufacturers improving Android faster than Google can ever attempt to. Why does the Moto Z Force keep losing Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi disconnecting keeps... I'm not sure. Try disconnecting. Is it from one Wi-Fi connection? So like your home Wi-Fi connection? Maybe try turning it off, like forgetting that Wi-Fi connection and then reconnecting to it and see if that helps. Also, is it further away? Is your Wi-Fi AC or is it N router? What kind of router do you have? Maybe that might be a thing of older router that you want a better connection with it. Maybe 5 gigahertz you need and you're on 2.4 gigahertz. For instance, my router has both simultaneously broadcasting. So if 5 isn't reaching upstairs, the 2.4 is. How much bigger is the Gear S3 compared to the Gear S2? It's only 0.1, but it's definitely noticeable. So here's the difference. Hopefully you can see that, but it's definitely noticeable. In perspective of when your screen's on, you could definitely see the difference and feel that it's bigger. 0.1 or 1.2, 1.3. That's the inch difference. But I feel it's definitely noticeable, and I like it a lot more. Can the Gear S3 work with the LG V10? Yes, absolutely can. Have you heard about Am Amfro Amfroa Messenger? I have not heard of this. What exactly is this? It says iMessage for all. Is this a way to supposedly have iMessage? Yeah, this is a way to essentially have iMessage on an Android. That's what they're trying to do, basically. Hey, if they can do it, great. Um, that would be a huge thing. I have not heard of this. Um, the app is still in development. You cannot download it yet. It will work on any Lollipop and Up Android. Yeah, man, this is great. If they can do it, that's awesome. Nextbit Robin is good. Yeah, that's a good phone. Did you see the OnePlus T3, OnePlus 3T? Yeah, I mean the biggest upgrade to me is that yeah, it has a better processor, same as the Pixel XL, but it has a 16 megapixel front camera. That's probably the biggest thing in my opinion. Definitely interesting for that. Google Home is $100 on Black Friday at Best Buy. I did not see that in their ad. Now you got me. I need to see this because as far as I remember, on the Best Buy ad, I did not see that you could get the Google Home for that price point. So I am really curious now. Now you got me wondering. Black Friday 2016. See the ad. Connected home. They changed it. When I did this video, they did not have it for $100. I will buy that then. I'm going to buy that on that day. That is awesome. I love you for telling me that. $100, I am buying at least one more Google Home, maybe two. One more. Should I buy one more or two, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. Should I buy one more Google Home or two more Google Homes? One's going to be for my wife. She'll have it in her bathroom, and it's going to have the purple on it, so she can listen to her music and have other things on there. Yes, see, it did have the 6 months of free YouTube Red, which I've already have YouTube Red, so that wouldn't help me. But for $100, that's awesome. What do you think of Google Daydream? I cannot wait to get my Daydream. Unfortunately, it was 4 weeks after the Pixel XL I get it when they're going to send it to me for free. So I have to wait another 2 weeks because they took forever to send me the Pixel XL. Do you think all phones will adopt the MST tech soon? NFC is clearly inferior, which is why I love the Galaxy phones. They can't. Samsung owns the patent on that MST technology. My guess is, I don't know exactly how much, but I think Samsung has 6 more years before any other company can use MST technology. Tech patents are about 10 years. So after that patent runs out, then you can see LG and Apple and everyone else adopt MST, and then the world will be great. But until then, Samsung has a clear advantage for Samsung Pay. Last week I said the wrong price. What is the best laptop for a college under $1,000? Thank you. The Lenovo going on sale for Black Friday. Check out our Black Friday best deals. There is a Lenovo that I did recommend to my best friend Richie, and it is $700, I want to say, and it has an i7 processor, 13.3-inch laptop, so very light. i7, 8 gigs RAM, 256 gigs solid state. That is the dream for having a really great laptop all the way around and it's way under 1,000. That's $700, and you can buy the other stuff, buy flash drives, external mouse. I definitely recommend the MX mouse. I recommend the MX Anywhere mouse if you're going to get that version. So yeah. When do you think phones will start being virtually compatible, completely waterproof? I think you're going to see it more and more virtually completely waterproof, like where you can go to 10 feet or something like that. I think that'll still be a couple of years, to be honest. But yeah, so I still think you're more than 5 years away from it being going over 10 feet. But who knows? I mean, look, we couldn't even imagine waterproof phones 5 years ago. So now we already have the two biggest phones, Samsung and Apple, having waterproof phones. So who knows? They say 85% returned a few weeks ago, was 1.7 kept. The 80. They're going to refurbish in India next year. Yeah, again, the refurbished Note 7s are still rumored. That they've not been said by Samsung that would have it. Sorry for the typos today. I am on a phone on the way on the YouTube app setup, and the keyboard on my phone takes half the real estate. Yeah, I understand. I have a Gear S2. Should I upgrade to the Gear S3? Again, I like it for the bigger screen. It's worth it enough for me, and that's the main reason why I upgraded. Okay, so I have a ZenWatch 2 and ZenWatch 3. I'm wondering why, when using S Voice in the watch, does it not reply with voice like on the S7? Well, you have Android Wear versus. How are you using Android Wear and S Voice? As far as I know, S Voice can't work on Android Wear. It can only do with Google Now. It's been a while since I had an Android Wear watch. I have the LG Urbane locked up right now, but that was the last Android Wear watch I had. I wasn't really that impressed by Android Wear, and I'm not going to get another Android Wear watch till next year when Android Wear 2.0 comes out. Do you think that the V10 is better than the V20? I can get the V10 for $330. For $330, I would get the V10. I don't think the V20 is that big of an upgrade, to be honest. But it's my opinion. I don't think the V20 was that big of a phone. I mean, V20 is great for manual controls. Other than that, though, almost half the Androids out there are better than the V20. It's just it didn't do anything that a wow factor to make me want to get a V20 over anything else. And that's my problem with the V20. There's nothing that's like, man, the V20 has this much better than any other phone. Because it doesn't. It has removable battery, so if you still want a removable battery, that's the reason to get it. But other than that, it doesn't. The camera's not anything special compared to most other Androids. The battery's not anything special compared to most other Androids. It's not for me, definitely. I want your opinion, please. Do you think I should get the S7 Edge, the 7 Plus, or should wait for the Note 8 if they release early? Do you think Samsung will release? So no, the Note 8 will not release early. The Note 8 will not release till August of next year. So the Note 8 will not release early. However, the S8 Edge will release in probably about, 4 months or so? You're talking about December, January, February, March. So at the latest, about 4 months, probably you're going to see the S8 Edge. So can you wait 4 months? You'll get a much better phone than everything out right now. But compared to the S7 Edge and the iPhone 7 Plus, they're a close battle. You saw the full comparison. We had the full comparison between those two. The iPhone 7 Plus had the better battery life in comparison. The camera quality did go to the S7 Edge barely, but it really just depends on you. What would the best Android phone I can get in January? There's no difference in terms of now till January. There's not going to be any Android phone released before January. So as of right now, I would say the S7 Edge would be the best Android phone you can get currently right now. What would is the Amazon Echo a good sounding device for the money. For the money, for 40 bucks, it's a great speaker for 40 bucks. It is a great speaker for 40 bucks. Just for a speaker by itself, it's worth the price of 40 bucks. However, because it has the entire voice commands section, hey, it's even better. I do have some connections in Samsung, so yeah, but there's not going to be a Note 8 coming up in early. Do you recommend another Bluetooth speaker, or not interested in Alexa as much? Again, for 40 bucks, it's a really good speaker. The JBL Clip 2 or the Bravia Maria, or sorry, Braven Maria is going to be better sound, and those are waterproof, or splash proof at least. But yeah, the for the price point, you cannot beat the $40 price point of the Alexa speaker. Is there a solution for malfunctioning Wi-Fi toggle on the Note Edge when running the latest Marshmallow? The go-to solution would unfortunately be to, if it's a toggle, it sounds like an OS issue, which means the only thing you could try to do is reset it or see if there's another updated firmware out available for it. Would you recommend the OnePlus 3T or wait for the 4? The OnePlus 4 won't come out till like next August or September, so you're not going to get it anytime soon. So yeah, I would get the 3T now, definitely, in that case, because you're not going to get it for almost a year. Why Samsung isn't adopting the new groundbreaking idea other than extending the series of Note and S, being long season of endless episodes? It's funny that you say that because we talked about the Galaxy X last week. So if you haven't heard, the Galaxy X is a fully bendable phone that Samsung's supposedly going to release next August. So could that change? Absolutely. But as of right now, that's what we're going to see in August. OnePlus 3 versus the Pixel XL in gaming performance. Well, the Pixel XL will be a bit better in gaming performance. The OnePlus 3T would be better than it because it has more RAM in comparison to the Pixel, and it has the same processor then. So yes, the Pixel XL would be slightly better, but not as good. Can you make a best Android apps video? I have done them in the past, but yeah, I'm going to have another must-have apps video that I'm going to make soon. Best apps for the S6 Edge Plus. Thanks a lot. I will go get the S7 Edge. S7 Edge is the best phone. Do you have a screen protector on your S7 Edge? No, I don't. But Zag does make one, so I would recommend getting the Zag one if you can. It's a glass screen protector, probably the best one you can get. All right, guys, we went a little bit over an hour. Put your questions in if you have them now. Make sure you also check out our other channel, The Mainstream Movie Guy. I did do my Fantastic Beasts video, should you see it, and I've already done a video that if you guys have seen the Beauty and the Beast trailer, I posed the question, do you think it's too realistic? Because I quite frankly do. So make sure to check out our other channel, The Mainstream Movie Guy, on YouTube, and go and watch those videos. Tomorrow I'm going to do the Kong trailer review, and then another day I'm going to go on Collateral Beauty, the new Will Smith movie, and I have a theory about that movie, so yeah. Alright, 5G, any expectations? 5G, I do expect to really have a lot of greatness come out of it, but no word on it like officially coming out yet. Samsung is... Their research and development team have made them outclass everyone else, Alcatel Lansing, and every other tower manufacturer. Samsung's in the lead when it comes to 5G, so every tower is going to be a Samsung tower, and that's why they're making a lot of money. Do you recommend any fully wireless earbuds? I just did a review on fully wireless earbuds right now, so make sure to go check that video out. The D500 minis. Look, if you don't need control for them, if you have like a smartwatch to control your music, it's a really good buy. For 50 bucks, can't complain. when it comes to it. I didn't have any really issues pairing it. My editor did, so keep that in mind. To each of their own. But definitely, overall, I would say once you get the hang of it, they're really great headphones for running around, and they won't fall out of your ear, no problem. And again, $50 right now. Um, do you know where there is still a good deal for the S7 Edge Injustice Edition? No. I mean, you're trying to find that basically because those aren't made as far as I know anymore, and you're just getting ones that were released already. What do you think about Sony future phone? I think Sony should get out of the phone business. I think Sony has not never been profitable for their mobile phones for the past 3 years. And it really is just not. It's not good. They haven't had a success for a long time, and they should just make Sony mobile PlayStation games and make it a profitable business. Right now, they're not profitable, and it's not working for them in their mobile industry. They sell in Japan, but that's about it. Is iPhone 7 Plus better than the S7 Edge when it comes to water resistance? No, the iPhone 7 Plus is IP67. The S7 Edge is IP68. So the S7 Edge can go longer in water than the iPhone 7 can. Samsung phone is buffed muscle. Why hardware over software? I'm guessing you mean like a bloated phone. Is that what you're saying by buffed? Samsung does make the best hardware overall on Android. They do. I mean, when you think about how much you get on their expandable memory, wireless charging, and water resistance, what other phone has those three things? Please, what other phone has those three things? That's one of the biggest things about Samsung is that they do the features now. Look, they went through really bad years with the S4 and the S5, just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what stuck. But with the S7, you really have to kind of like, what doesn't it have really, kind of thing, and that's really what stood out. What it didn't have was good sound quality. That's what it didn't have. But yeah, I mean, that's why I would say it's a better thing overall. Have you checked out or seen the Google Earth VR? No, on the I know it's available for like the HTC Vive and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to be selling my Vive because I just don't use it. So I'm going to be selling mine, unfortunately. Yeah. Any suggestions on Black Friday deal for desktop? No, desktop is really based on what you want. Because I mean, get an i7 if you're getting a desktop for sure. Don't get anything less than that, in my opinion. But if you want a graphics card or not, that depends on the user. I missed the answer to can I use replacement pins on the Note 3 pins on the Note 5? I believe so. I haven't personally tried that though, so I can't tell you for sure. So yeah, not positive. Try it. If it works, it works. When can we expect a Grace UI S7 Edge? You recommend getting it in January. I am from Singapore, if that matters. Yeah, I would say you're going to start seeing it in January, but it could be as far as February, depending on the country. Best 2016 phone camera and performance, Note 7. Note 7 had the best camera, period. If you don't believe me, we have a camera comparison coming up. Are Samsung going to make better speakers in the future? I hope. That's the big thing. If they're buying Harmon Kardon, thank God, so we can have better sound in those phones. Why can I get the voice replies with my... See, on Android Wear, Google Now did work fine with my replies, so I don't know what is the issue. Look, I know the Zen Watch actually cuts down a few features, but they should have a mic, right? They should have a mic and a speaker. If they have those two, you shouldn't have a problem using Google Now. I did on mine when I used it, but yeah, I'm not sure. how did surgery go? How's your health? I actually never got surgery. They had told me that I needed to have surgery for my gallstones. From those of you who remember when I went to the hospital in February, never got it. And turns out I didn't need it. I mean, I haven't had pain anymore for the gallstones. And yeah, I always recommend, guys, if you have a surgeon telling you you need to have surgery, get a second opinion. Wait to see, if it's not something that, like, oh my God, you need this now, like immediate, like you're in thriving pain, maybe you want to wait on that. You're saying that you're saying that the D900s, it's the D900 Mini, and they should be available on Amazon. Yeah, they're available. Bam, just put the, oh. They are available. Just do a search for, do a search for that. I just posted it. Do a search for that, and that should be fine. See, what I heard is that you can't pee out gallstones. You could do that with the other type of stones, kidney stones. Kidney stones do get peed out, but I heard gallstones you can't. I am not, of course, a doctor by any means, so I don't know that for a fact. But from what I heard, that you couldn't pee out gallstones, you could do that with kidney stones, but not gallstones. Again, I'm not a doctor, but that's what the information the doctors had given me. All right, guys, we will end this now. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you again always for watching. I always appreciate it. Make sure to give that like, thumbs up, and share this. Share this video on your Twitter, on Facebook. Please share it with your friends. Get the word out about our channel, and we can keep doing more and more in the future. All right, guys, thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.